Welcome to this episode of the story. Have you subscribed yet? Chapter 151. Maneuvering in the camp, seeking a chance to escape. The night was as dark as ink, thick and impenetrable, yet the Spirit Balancer's camp was ablaze with light, like a city that never sleeps. However, this brightness was tinged with a murderous aura. Sumu was trapped in the middle, tightly surrounded by a group of Spirit Balancers. These Spirit Balancers wore specially crafted spiritual armor with glowing runes etched on it, and their weapons hummed with spiritual energy, exuding palpable Shai. Sumu knew well that he was isolated and wuzhu at this moment. Facing so many Spirit Balancers, a reckless confrontation would be like throwing an egg at a stone. Only by relying on his familiarity with the camp's terrain and his unique time-reversing spiritual energy, cleverly maneuvering around them, could he find a chance to escape. He quickly scanned his surroundings, and the layout of the camp unfolded in his mind like a painting. Tents were arranged neatly, boulders were scattered randomly, and paths crisscrossed. This complex environment was both an obstacle to his escape and a barrier he could use. Sumu unleashed the time-reverse spatial shuttle skill bestowed by his time-reversing spiritual energy. In an instant, his figure turned into a streak of colorful light, darting back and forth between the tents and boulders. Seeing this, the Spirit Balancers launched their attacks one after another. For a moment, various spiritual energy spells interwove into a dazzling yet dangerous light curtain, Qingxie towards Sumu. There were scorching flames roaring like mad dragons, sharp ice shards shooting like a dense downpour, and crackling lightning coiling like silver snakes. However, Sumu's movements were agile, and relying on his familiarity with the terrain, he could always, at the critical moment, skillfully avoid these attacks by taking cover behind tents or boulders. Those spiritual energy attacks hit the tents and boulders, exploding into dazzling light that illuminated the camp like daytime, yet never managed to harm Sumu in the slightest. But the Spirit Balancers were no ordinary opponents. Seeing how nimble Sumu was, they quickly adjusted their tactics. Some Spirit Balancers pursued closely from behind, continuously unleashing powerful spiritual energy blasts, attempting to suppress Sumu's movements with overwhelming spiritual energy. These blasts were like surging waves, one after another, making the space around Sumu tremble. Others took advantage of the camp's complex terrain, quickly taking shortcuts to outflank him, trying to cut off all possible escape routes for Sumu. They moved like ghosts between the tents, gradually shrinking the encirclement. Sumu 敏锐来察觉到 the Spirit Balancer's intention, 暗自 staying alert. The time-reversing spiritual energy in his body surged like a turbulent undercurrent, ready to deal with new crises at any moment. You think you can trap me? It won't be that easy. Sumu growled softly, quickly forming seals with his hands. Time-reversing spiritual energy gushed out like a Bentong river, carefully setting a time trap not far ahead. A mysterious faint light spread over the ground, and the power of time surged quietly, as if the surrounding space was being twisted by an invisible hand. The pursuing Spirit Balancer, caught off guard, stepped into the trap. In an instant, the flow of time around his body suddenly accelerated. His spiritual energy circulation slowed down, his movements became stiff, as if he had fallen into a quagmire of time. He watched in horror as his body aged rapidly in a short time. His skin wrinkled, his hair turned gray. Every movement became extremely difficult, and he let out a tongku roar. Sumu seized the opportunity, Mengba turned around. The colorful spiritual energy long sword condensed from time-reversing spiritual energy in his hand shone with a dazzling light. He unleashed the time-reverse spatial shatter slash, and the sword, carrying world-destroying power, slashed fiercely at the trapped Spirit Balancer. For a moment, screams filled the air. Some Spirit Balancers were severely injured by this Numi strike, and blood splattered out, staining the camp's ground. But the number of Spirit Balancers was large, and others quickly filled the gap. They attacked from all directions like a tide, and various spiritual energy spells interwove into a xuanlan yet deadly light curtain. Sumu showed no fear, continuing to unleash exquisite moves that combined time-reversing spiritual energy and spatial spiritual energy. Time-reverse spatial distortion caused the surrounding space to undergo strange deformation, forcibly altering the attack routes of the Spirit Balancers, making their originally accurate attacks deviate from the target one after another. The flames, ice shards, and lightning that were originally aimed at Sumu changed trajectory in the twisted space, colliding with each other and erupting into even more brilliant light. The time-reverse spatial shield was like a solid fortress, withstanding wave after wave of fierce attacks. The surface of the shield flickered with light, runes faintly visible, under great pressure, emitting a buzzing sound, as if it would shatter at any moment. The battle continued, and Sumu's spiritual energy was gradually depleted. Sweat soaked his clothes, sliding down his cheeks. Wounds gradually appeared on his body, and blood flowed down, staining his front. The spirit balancers seemed to sense his exhaustion, their attacks becoming more fierce, trying to seize this opportunity to capture him in one fell swoop. For a moment, Sumu was shrouded in dense spiritual energy attacks, his situation extremely perilous. Just as Sumu was gradually struggling to hold on, his eyes glanced at the secret letter in his arms, and a flash of inspiration came to him, a plan forming in his mind. Sumu deliberately shouted loudly, "Do you think this is the only secret letter about the Eye of the Spirit Abyss? I've already sent someone to deliver the news." His voice was firm and loud, echoing in the camp like a big bell, with an undeniable momentum. When the spirit balancers heard Sumu's words, they couldn't help but be startled, and their attack slowed down. They looked at each other, hesitation and worry evident in their eyes. The secret of the Eye of the Spirit Abyss was crucial to them, and if the news in the secret letter had really leaked, the situation would become even more complicated. Sumu took the opportunity to throw the secret letter forcefully into the distance. The secret letter unfolded slowly in the air, with runes on it flickering with a mysterious light, as if telling unknown secrets. The attention of the spirit balancers was instantly drawn to the secret letter. Some couldn't help but rush towards where the secret letter fell, wanting to get it first and obtain the secrets about the Eye of the Spirit Abyss within. Sumu seized this perfect opportunity, unleashing the strongest form of time-reverse spatial shuttle. His figure rushed towards the edge of the camp as fast as lightning. A flash of colorful light, and he successfully broke through the spirit balancer's encirclement, disappearing into the vast night. The night, as dark as ink, quickly swallowed his figure, leaving only the angry shouts of the spirit balancers echoing in the camp for a long time. The story continues, and the next episodes will be even more exciting. Subscribe as soon as possible.